Hey folks, welcome back to Biscuits Total War. This is Biscuits giving another online commentary for Rome Total War. Now, as promised, this is the second battle that we played the other night against the Murphy brothers. Both myself, Koda and Hanni are going up against Thor, Odin and Indi. We won the first battle, which was the last video that I put up on the channel. This is the second match. This is the rematch. The first one was so awesome, we wanted to play a second one. And of course there's going to be a third battle which will come up in a few days time on the channel. Now on the first battle, we won that. It was pretty tight and I was really happy with this one. On the second one, before we actually started the battle itself, I think Hannibal disappeared for a few moments to have a quick smoke. There's kind of an unwritten rule where you can't attack whilst the other person is away, which is kind of fair enough. But what you can sometimes do is get your guys into formation just while you're waiting for the other player to start. Now when you're playing up against Hannibal, who is the player that you can see in front of me, Hannibal likes to flank and he likes to play aggressively. So to nullify the flank attack, you want to try and position your army in a certain way. Now it's a bit cheeky on what the enemy have done, because if I turn around, you can see instead of kind of being deployed over there, they've actually swung all of their army to this flank. So when Hannibal actually starts, you know, he can't actually use his army to flank around this side because they've already positioned themselves there. And look, here's the red barrier, the red line there. So it was a bit cheeky. It was a good idea. To be honest, if I was in the shoes of Odin, Thor and Indi, I would have probably suggested to do exactly the same if I was playing up against somebody similar to Hannibal. The good thing about flanking, it's great when it comes to 1 versus 1, but if you always use the same formation and the same build, it can make your game style quite easy to predict, and that's exactly what Odin and Indi have done there. They've actually positioned their army in such a way that Hannibal can't get around the flank. Now the builds are exactly the same as the previous battle that we put up. I'll quickly outline them. Basically Indi has gone for 6 Praetorian Cav, 14 Urbans. Thor has gone for 14 Urbans and 6 Praetorian Cav. And the same with Odin. So everyone's gone for the same builds of 6 Praetorian Cav and 14 Urbans as far as the Murphys go, which are the Julii, the Brutii and the Julii. With myself, I've gone for 13 Urbans, 1 legionary first cohort, 6 archers, 6 cav and 2 archers. I've got that totally mixed up. Hanni's gone for the same build of 6 Praetorian Cav, 13 Urbans, 1 legionary first cohort, and that's exactly what Koda has done as well. So all of us got the same builds, apart from the Murphy brothers. They've gone for a slightly different build. So because the Murphy brothers have already got the advantage on the positioning, what we need to do is pull our guys back. Koda initially ran his guys over here, and I think it's really just to prevent Hannibal from being too timed on Indi and Odin there. So he ran his guys forwards. Now we're going to run our guys backwards. My guys are staying on this flank because I want to try and stay here. I want to try and attack on the flank, and Thor is right in front of me at the moment. So we're pulling back just so they don't have that advantage of the flank. But as we pull back, we're getting closer to the red line, and you'll see in a moment we're heading slowly in this direction. And the problem about doing that is that once you hit this red line, you can't go any more into the right anymore. You're going to be snookered. The only thing you can do really is go backwards or go over here, which will really make it a bit easier on the enemy, especially if they start playing aggressively against us. They're going to have the slightly upper hand because they're going to be able to predict our positioning and really, you know, crank on the pressure. So both Koda and Hanni are going to throw everything they've got onto this flank here. It's going to be a bit of a gamble because what they want to try and do is break Odin. They want to try and push forward here so they can come around this flank, but both Indi and Odin have got all of their forces here, and as you can see, look, Indi's coming in with his infantry as well, so it's going to be pretty damn tight. Koda's going to charge forward as a bit of a fake charge, and that's really to try and draw out Indi so potentially they might be able to do a counter charge there, but hasn't worked. Indi's pulled his guys back. Hannibal's going to send his guys forward, but you can see Hannibal starting to glitch here. Some of his units have glitched and run forward and basically dispersed. Same with Koda. So we're going to quickly get his guys get back into formation and just run them forward. But look, we're already hit that red line. We can't go any closer over here. So what Odin's going to do is going to run his guys forward. And again, look, you can see Hanni's units are now starting to glitch again. In comes Odin with his infantry, and now he's going to start throwing his peeler anytime now. Straight into Hannibal's guys. He's going to do a lot of damage here because some of his units had glitched and they were standing still. He's probably going to try and get his guys into Testudo and try and play a bit defensively. But look, you can see Odin has got plenty of kills over here, as well as Hanni's cav glitching. Over here, my infantry units are in a kind of formation here. What I want to try and do with these guys is swing them around this flank. Thor was seeing that, so he's going to pull his guys back. I'm now going to push forward with my infantry and push forward with this infantry. And what I want to try and do is push Thor back. I want to try and cause a little gap between Thor and Indi here. Because if we can isolate him, what we could potentially do is really pile the pressure on here. Because over here, looks like Indi, sorry, I keep getting mixed up. Odin has really got the upper advantage here on Hanni. He's been able to win the first duel of the peeler. There's quite a few dead Scipii units on this flank. So again, I'm pushing my infantry forward and I push these guys around this side here. I really want to try and get Thor to come away from his allies. If we can isolate him, what we might be able to do is surround him with my infantry, use the flame attack from the archers, and then go in with a pincer strike with my cav. But it's only going to work if we can get him out of position. So again, he's pulling back. I'm now going to send my infantry into this gap here. He's trying to isolate Thor. My guys over here throwing peeler at this stage, doing a lot of damage into Thor's units, especially into this unit here. This one is down to 64. Use my archers here just to try and hopefully push back the cav. I really want the infantry to be isolated from the cav. I'm going to go into a cav strike. I'm going to pull back. Thor's going to come with a counter strike, and then he's going to pull back. But now at this stage, Koda assisted in trying to aggressively push forward, so he's going to charge in with his cav. I was a bit reluctant to go in, but I'm charging in my infantry. I'm charging in this infantry. I'm using the flame shot with my archers. My cav's over here. Now, because Koda is now engaged with his cav, I need to engage with my cav, because if I don't do that, Koda's going to lose a lot of these units. I'm using my archers to shoot over here just to try and drop them around for these urbans, so hopefully we can rout them. My cav, my infantry is coming around this flank here. I've got my general, I've got my legionary first over here. Again, in comes my infantry here, using the archers, and to be honest, I thought we might be able to do a better mass rout. Hannibal's cav is over here. Now Hannibal should really charge in his cav. He should have charged it in a bit quicker into this clump, and then potentially we would have been able to mass rout Thor's units. So a bit of a delay there that's potentially cost us dearly. In comes Odin now. Perfect textbook charge. I'm going to peel off my infantry to try and buffer this charge, but in they come, right into the flank here, straight into my general. The charge hasn't been that successful because I've been able to slow it down to this urban cohort, but the charge has managed to actually get into my general. Thankfully, it hasn't routed it. He's now going to pull back his general, so he's going to pull back his cav, but he has been able to catch Koda's general. Again, in comes our cav here. I'm using my flame attack right onto these units. In comes Koda's cav. Now this cav should really have come in quicker and faster. I don't know what he's doing there. He's really should maybe take 2 cav units around the flank and use the other 4 to come into that clump. But now he's been a bit too slow. And what's going to happen here is going to push forward. And you can see, look, they really are severely winning this flank here. All of these infantry units over here need to come over here and assist. We need to try and win this flank here. We need to try and push back the enemy. But it looks like we're playing too slowly. My general is in the thick of it here. I'm just going to put him to testudo. All I'm trying to do is let him buy time, but unfortunately my general has now been routed, and that's going to cost me dearly. All of these infantry units have been building up here. Again, in comes Thor with another charge here. He's going to free up this flank here. In comes Hanni with a charge here. He's routed a couple of these units, so he's doing really well, but we've got all of these infantry units over here. Now Koda needs to step it up. He needs to push in his units over here, but it looks like my general is gone, Koda's general is gone. It's really only Hannibal's general that's left in it, as well as a few of Koda's infantry units. But just look here, all our infantry units have really been smashed up to bits. I'm sticking my guys into testudo. Again, it's really a case of trying to buy time, trying to snag up as many of these units. Indi's got all his guys clumped up into one big clump, which is great for us. It might just give us the initiative just to try and free up the space. In comes Hanni with a nice little charge here, but Odin, seeing that, is going to pull back his infantry away from that. If he'd left it in there, I'm pretty sure these 3 or 4 units would have been routed, and that would have meant that Hannibal could have come around this flank in. But he's pulled his guys out just in time, so really well there. Odin, perfectly timed. He's going to pull back his units back over to here, but just check this out. Odin has got loads of Peeler left, and he's just nullifying Hanni's units, just chucking his Peeler right into these units. Luckily, Hanni's been able to put his guys into testudo, and he's getting some damage, but really it's minimal compared to what it would have been if his guys weren't in that testudo. In comes Indi, in comes Thor. Look, they're going to smash through this flank here. I'm frantically trying to support my allies with my archers here, using the flame shot right into these units here. It's going to cause a bit of a drop in morale, and Koda's going to send in some infantry. Again, Koda needs to send him in a bit quicker, but he's done a bit too slow, and what meant is that all of these infantry units from Indi can now pull back out, get himself back into a better formation. Hanni's trying to win this little battle here. I'm going to get my cav and try and charge right into this flank here. Again, what I'm trying to do is just free up the space, but I think what Odin's done is put his guys into potentially some of them into guard mode, and a good thing about that is that that's going to take longer for Hanni's guys to come and attack. I've tried to charge in my cav here just to free up these 3 urbans so they can potentially come around the flank and try and cause a bit of a rout, but it hasn't really had the desired effect. Look over here, both Indi and Thor being able to smash through this flank here. And now they've smashed through that flank, all they need to do is swing their units around this flank here. And look, Hanni's guys now being isolated. In comes Odin with another textbook charge. Odin's playing really well here. This is where his Titan's experience is really coming into play. He's been able to outposition us, he's been able to use his cav charges really well there, and basically bring home a really tasty victory for the Murphy brothers. So, you know, that was a great game. I really enjoyed that, even though yes, we may have lost that. To me, the score is now 1-1. So we won that first battle, they won the second battle. You could argue potentially, you know, they were a bit cheeky there, positioning their men where we were to prevent Hannibal to get that nice little side attack, which he likes to do. He loves to flank when he can. So they were a bit cheeky there, the Murphy brothers, being able to position their units in such a way to nullify Hannibal's preferred way of play. But at the end of the day, Rome Total War is a game, and you know, the best team won. So hats off to the Murphy brothers, played really well there, really enjoyed that. So let's have a look at the kill count. Unfortunately, it's a bit of an embarrassing stats for myself and Koda. I got an 813 kills, Koda got a 900. We really shouldn't have done what we did there. We should have saved our cav, potentially done that charge later on. That cost us dearly. I'm pretty sure that cost us the match. Hannibal got in some nice cav strikes with getting in 1200 kills. And now have a look at the Murphy brothers, which is Odin, Indi and Thor. You know, they've got 1300 kills each. Each one of them played really well there, so you can't really say one played better than the other. But I really did like Odin's cav charges. Even though we got less kills, I thought his cav charges really well, really managed to time them perfectly and get those routes where it counted. So folks, as always, don't forget to like and subscribe. Let me know what your thoughts are. Leave a little comment in the comment section. If you do get a few moments, if you haven't checked out the previous battle, go check it out. And in a couple of days' time, I'll bring up part 3 of the battles between ourselves and the Murphy brothers. And this is going to be the clincher, the best of 3. So it's all down to battle number 3. Will we be able to pull back victory, or will the Murphy brothers be able to actually stay on their winning streak, defeating myself and Hanni? Anyway, folks, thanks for watching. Thanks for your time. And we'll catch you guys soon. All the best, and bye now.